That's some good eating right there. Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 128L string trimmer. Customer complaint, as you can see, is that there's a hole in his fuel tank. Now, apparently a rodent got at this trimmer during storage and started chewing away at it. It isn't something we often see, but it's something I've seen before. It's going to have to be replaced. I mean, I'm not patching up a hole like that in a fuel tank. I suppose in a combat situation a guy could fix it. This isn't a combat situation. So I'm going to go through the steps here and show you what has to be done to get this fuel tank off and get it swapped out. We've removed the starter. There was only 2 screws holding that on. And we removed the heat shield over the muffler. There's another air deflector here that I just removed. A couple of screws on that. And it looks like my snap-on bit driver needs battery swap. This is a rare event, actually. Maybe, I don't know, every 2 or 3 weeks I gotta swap the battery out. And if you follow this channel, you know I use that thing all the time. Every repair I'm using that thing. I'm really impressed with the way that tool runs. Alright, there's kind of an engine cover here that we have to remove. 2 screws on top, 2 screws on the bottom. Got to clear the spark plug boot. It's plastic, right? No, it's not doing it for me. I don't understand. So what's the attraction to rodents chewing on plastic anyway? Alright, now that we have the engine cover off, I'm going to show you this tool I made. This is an old Craftsman snap ring pliers. And I really like this tool. I've had it for decades. I kind of ground the end at one point. Cripes. And now I re-ground it. Oh man. That's the only bad thing about this, is that that spring keeps popping out. So now I re-ground the end to kind of mimic the fuel hose tool that I ground out of a hollow tube. And this works pretty good. You can just reach in there, squeeze the pliers, and pop the line off. But sometimes, like this line has got the inner liner in it. It doesn't come off real easy. Sometimes we got to go back and use the old school tool. So there we have the fuel lines off the carburetor. The tank is removed. Be mindful of the 3 black rubber bushings. What's the attraction, right? Well, I don't think they're trying to supplement their diet or anything. I think it's more about if they have a soft food diet, they need to grind down some teeth that are getting too long. And chewing on this plastic might just be a way to do that. So anyway, I've sourced a used tank for the customer. And we'll put the grommets on there. We're going to put some new fuel hose in it for them. And to get the hose in the tank, I'm going to have to cut a taper on the end of the hose. I got enough hose there that I can cut a longer taper to push it through. Now there's a couple other ways to insert fuel hose. This is the way I've always done it, so I'm gonna keep doing it this way. Cut a taper, push some of it through, and then grab the end of the hose and pull. Most fuel tanks that I've worked on, you can reach the end of the hose by doing it this way. There's some odd situations where you might have to use a wire through the hole and then hook it to the hose and pull it through. So we've got a new filter on the end of a new hose. Kind of just roughly cut this to length. And then we'll do the same thing for the fuel return line. But the end of the fuel return line has a little fitting on it, a little barbed fitting that kind of keeps that line from pulling through the tank if it gets bumped. I'm having a hard time getting it off of there. It probably would be easier if I take the cap off and go through the bigger hole, but whatever. If I flush cut the line here, then I don't have to pull all that line through the tank. Now when we grab that fitting, it just pulls the hose right through. And it's just a double barbed fitting. So we're going to cut the taper on this hose. Push it through the hole in the tank. And then grab it and pull it through. Now I'm going to pull it through far enough where I can flush cut that end and put that fitting on it. That hose probably could have used a little bit of lubrication. But we're going to get it. Man, I got to pull a lot of it through there. Alright, flush cut it. Jam the fitting on there. And then pull the slack back out. There you go. Alright. We got our bushings. We'll line the bushings up with the orange piece, the engine housing there on the front side. Then we'll line the bushing up, the single, well, there's two bushings on this side, I guess. We got to clear that spark plug boot again. There's also a gasket by the insulation wall. We got to make sure that we're on the correct side of that. You can see if we tried to go over the top of it that this piece wouldn't bolt up tight. Pretty simple. I'm just making sure that I'm not pinching anything or nothing's binding. And then we'll run our 4 screws home. Yeah, that looks good. If this wouldn't squeeze together flush, I'd back the other 2 screws out and take a look at what I might be pinching in there. Alright, on the muffler side we have this heat deflector. And the 2 little screws that hold it in. And then we'll have the heat guard, I guess we're going to call it. And I think there's 3 screws on this one. pretty simple design, really. It doesn't take much to get into these things. I've seen a lot worse. We're getting close. Now we have to bolt our starter on. Looks like it works good. Just jiggling the handle to make sure everything's going to line up with the starter balls. That screw's a little bit tight. Okay. All right. Now we got to put our fuel lines on. There's two fittings on the carburetor and two hoses coming out of the tank, right? So it's a 50-50 shot. Well, the hose that we put in last is the fuel return line. There's no filter on the end of that hose. That line's going to go on the carburetor closest, the fitting closest to the primer bulb. You can see the line we just put on was the one that has a filter on it and is farthest away from that primer bulb. So we kind of cut it to length, push it on there. And then if we need to adjust the slack that's exposed there, we can just reach through the tank and grab the line and pull it. But those lines are pretty good. Alright, this air filter base, there's just two nuts that hold this down. 8mm driver to tighten them on. I hope this thing runs right because it wasn't, it just came out of storage. And she never did fire it up. It didn't have fuel in it when I got it. We're going to need a fuel cap. But our used fuel tank came with a cap, so we're gonna run this one. Looks like it's all right. The retainer is busted there, but oh well. We're gonna put some fuel in here and try and start this up, and if it starts and runs and doesn't leak any fuel, then that's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna 128L string trimmer that was lunch for a rodent. Thanks for watching. Later.